Today we're going to go over the charts. We're going to look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, which is just absolutely fucking going off at the moment. And best of all, we're going to have a look at the XRP chart. Now, I know a lot of guys, especially you traders here in Australia, all have XRP. You're all talking about it on the job sites. And I want you guys to be extremely careful about how you go about trading or investing into this coin. And I'm going to show you why I'm seeing warning signs later on in this video. And look, if you're new to trading, still watch this. I'm not a technical trader at all, so if you're new to trading, you'll get a lot of benefit from watching my videos. And you guys will also get a lot of benefit watching the 3 Sell the Top webinar. It's completely free. I just need your email. Go watch it. Now, should we get in the charts? Let's go. All right, first up, we've got Bitcoin. We're looking on the weekly chart, and you can see this high on the weekly has held as support for now. So we need to make sure this holds, and I can see there's a lot of fear in the market when you look at different communities or looking at X, Twitter. We'll still call it Twitter because I'm old. I've also just overlaid our in-house indicator, the long-term VWAP indicator, right? And as you can see, we might be finding support at this weekly level. Plus, to add some more confluence, we've got the developing year value area high. Now, if you don't know what this is, I did a video on this last week. Just go in there. I've caught it. It's the one where it's just one line. I teach you how to trade. And just a little bit more confluence, we have the 100-day EMA here as well. So I was looking at getting some positions this week. I managed to get one into Ethereum and it's looking pretty good. A little bit sketchy today. Nvidia earnings come out, which were really good, but for some reason it's dumping. I haven't gone in and had a deep dive in that, so I'm not too sure why it's doing that. But those big tech stocks is what's bringing up the whole market at the moment. Now, I've just gone down into the daily now, and what I was looking for today was a close, today's close above this level here at $113,500. Now, we've still got 2 hours before the daily close is in, but at the moment, it's not looking great. I'm also just going to draw in this trend line here, bounce here, bounce here. It's broken through, backwards retest and rejecting. So that is actually time to be cautious. And we could just flag here, or we could just come down here, flag out before we can go back up, or we could come back in here, inside break, down here, chop around, down here before coming up like this. That's going to shake a fair few people out. But I think for now, if we can get some momentum here, something I'm looking for would be a close above here. So then all of a sudden, we've just got a deviation of this range that comes through here and through here, which happens all the time, bit of a spring before we can go. And that would indicate to me that this is some kind of reaccumulation at the highs. Don't fade these EMAs. You can see how price loves to react off these levels, okay? So make sure you put them in. The 100, 200 daily and the 100, 200 4-hour are the ones that I use. Now, a quick look at Ethereum here on the weekly. We did make a new all-time high finally last week. And as always kind of expected, we'll probably make it and then flag underneath it. That's going to be really bullish. If we look on the daily here, we can just hope that we're just going to flag here, right? And then before we go, if you flag underneath major resistance, it is a really good sign that the people accumulating there, but just a little bit, I'm too sure whether or not they buy that high. But eventually those people selling at the high, we run out of them and price will just go through. At the moment on the 4-hour, I've got in the position down here on Ethereum. You can see that the developing quarterly value area high has been good support until it was lost here, obviously, but it was a bit of a deviation in here, a little bit another deviation through here. So I took the Morningstar reversal trade off these candles here, and my stop was here. Now I'm just reassessing, and I'm gonna wait to see how price reacts here before I decide to cut that position. But the thing with ETH, it's had such a good run since this bottom here, it definitely needs to cool off. Now, it doesn't mean it has to, doesn't mean it's going to, but it just makes sense that we do get some kind of pullback. And I think that these levels down here could absolutely get retested as well. But we did have this test here on this candle. So, you know, if this is really, really bullish, it should start picking up momentum over the next couple of days, in my opinion. Otherwise, we're just going to see that kind of flag happening all the way through here before we can go. Solana's had a good run over the last couple of days. This is the weekly. I'm still not convinced that this is a good trade or a good position to be in. There could be some people that got in some positions up here, bailing out at this level here. And to me, it just still looks like a head and shoulders. So it'd be interesting to see if we can, look, this will be invalidated in my opinion, if we can get back above this level. You can see it's just building value in this developing year value area. And we've also got the previous year value area high here. So, we could just bounce between these levels before it makes a decision whether or not that comes back down here to the VWAP or that blasts through and then we go. But I do think if we start coming here, we could start seeing this level here or this level here. And then what we want to see is that reclaim, and then that will be a good place to get into a position there. Now, I hope this doesn't play out because that's going to mean that the markets are looking pretty trash. But these things you have to kind of expect. I'm still thinking that we get a choppy few weeks until the back end of September, and in October we can go off its head. Now, XRP, what I mentioned before, was looking a little bit average. So what we have is on the weekly here, we have this breakthrough here. It's a swing failure pattern. Couldn't find any more buyers above this old all-time high. And now we've just come down. Now, I know we have a few days for the weekly to close, but now we are back in developing year value area high. And if you look at the daily, we're getting closes underneath and it looks like it's an inside break. So what that means is that we should expect at least this level here and this level here to get tagged. And then if we lose that, we're probably just going to flag in between here down at $1.70, right? And then if we lose that, then we got to expect this level here and then this level here. Now, I'm not going to say that's happening, but when we're in a bear market, like I mentioned last week, these are kind of the levels you definitely want to have a look out for. But the bullish case here, guys, is we have this trend line here. Sorry, I'm just going to use the drawing tool. If we can get up and break that outside retest, get back above here, then we should be good for another leg up, which I think is most probable. We only really got 2 weeks of this shit, and then we should start seeing some good momentum again. The total chart is, again, still the most bullish chart, I think, in my opinion. We've held on to this old all-time high really, really well. And then maybe we should just move that down here to those bodies, and that's where we want to stay above. And you can see here, it's just bounced straight off that developing year value area high as well. So looking really, really good. We are putting in a lower high here though, which is not the end of the world. You can see we did that here as well. So we just kind of consolidated here like a bit of a falling wedge, which is this here. So maybe we get this before we can go up again. Still needs to be a few people shaken out of the market, I believe. Quickly just going over the USDT dominance chart. This to me looks like it wants to do a backside retest of this trend line, which means we will see lower prices on Ethereum, Bitcoin and everything else before we can make new highs and do this, right? So if you want to know more about this chart, look at my last weekly update. So but virtually if this number's going down, it means crypto's going up, right? Now I'm just going to touch on Plume because I just want to keep everyone updated on this one. It looks like it's getting a listing on Binance, but it's still not in a good position on the chart to actually be getting in. Now I know I haven't added any other little gems to this chart yet, but I am looking at some and I will when I think it's a good time for you guys to start paying attention. But yeah, right now it's not looking great. We've got this, we have found support here. So I guess the best case would be we lose it, come back up, retest, and we can get in a nice entry here. But for fuck's sakes, if we start making new lows, just stay out of it until you see something in the price action that can get you into a position, okay? Sorry for all the squiggles. That's just retarded. So long story short, not touching it yet. Want to see this. Reclaim this level here, okay? Simple as that. And then this is the next level we want to get above. All right, guys, that's all from me this week. Nice, quick and short and simple, just like me in the, never mind. So don't forget to check out that Weber below. And I've also just chucked in a link to our short course. It's only $69 Australian. If you're a complete beginner, that teaches you everything from what Bitcoin is right up to putting your first trade. Have a good week, guys. I'll see you next week.